Who am I? The journey of becoming your true self. This question that we all asked at least once in our lives, if not more. It is the question that instigates my journey. When I heard that question, I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to seek. And I will be the seeker till the last breath of my life. So who are you? Did you ever ask this question? I'm here to tell you my journey and how powerful this question is when you seek to get the answers. The answers are all around. Just seek. Don't stop. Don't be afraid. There's so much treasure behind this question. I'm Nabila. I'm a wellness expert, a soul coach, and I'm the founder of Just Be Wellbeing Center. The journey has started early on. I would say, lucky to wake up at the age of 13. But it was actually before that, when I was doodling on my notebook when I was at school, asking the question why, seeking the answer. When I was asking that question, I was not even understanding why I was asking myself why. It was just there, on and on and on in the back end. And then I read the book, that magical book that has been the starting point in my journey, The Alchemist. That was profound. It was a turning point in my life where I understood that treasure that we were all looking for is within. And then I was seeking how, within. How do we do that? How do we operate? Who are we? And then I was lucky to have a father that has planted that seed at an early stage, at the age of 18, when he took me by the hand to a conference speaking about hypnosis and trance state and how we can access the deeper end of our being. And then that was my passion, my hobby. I would, in parallel to my studies, my career, I would just go on and on to learn. I was that learnaholic, going from one holistic center to another, from one ashram to another, traveling the world, seeking different modalities, learning about them to understand who we are, how do we operate as humans, are we really human, or are we more than that? And then I came to understand that we are not human beings in a spiritual quest. We're actually a soul in a human experience. And that's where the seeking has never ended, till now, till date. Thyme actually is the herbal tea that I always offer every time I meet a soul. It is the witness that takes us through that journey. Every sip we take, it takes us deeper and deeper into that inner quest of knowing who we are, of understanding that these blocks, the pain is not actually a pain. It's a call. It's a calling. It's a may they help call, but it's also the truth behind that calling. That pain is hiding the light that is seeking you. Are you seeking it? So Thyme is also a time capsule. So it's the herbal tea that is there to hold our space, to witness the journey unfolding, one moment at a time. But it's also the time out from the outside world, to focus on that moment, treasure moment of knowing who you are, how do you operate, that you are a mind, but you're also a body, and you're also a soul. And very often, whatever brings you to do and instigate a holistic experience or a journey is actually the turning point of your life to understand who you are and why you're here for. So I was far to understand that my journey of being a seeker was actually to let me unfold becoming that alchemist. I was far from even having the pretension to be or understand what alchemist means from the first place. So we are all alchemists. And the guidance is to become the alchemist that you truly are. Behind all the programmings, all the conditionings, all the layers that were processed by the mind, perceived by the mind once upon a time, recorded in the form of energy into our bodies that creates the outcome of our reality. We're trying very hard to change our realities in many ways, we're not able to do so because we don't know ourselves. We don't know how to access that mastermind behind it, because behind the programming, there is a superconscious, which is where the true self is. Where is that in our body, in our hearts? That's why we say the heart is the gateway of the soul. The heart is the gateway of all the answers, the true path, the divine path. Why the why? Thank you, dear why. That was when I started seeking. The why was because I was wondering why I was brought up in an unsafe home, why the environment was not feeling safe. So the only way for me to survive was to actually change myself to fit in that box that was expected from me by the society, by the environment, by everything else around me. We as children try to fit in the box. The most important element for a child to be happy is to belong, to feel that it belongs, to feel loved, to feel safe. So in order to be able to be safe and feel safe, we are to change ourselves to fit in whatever expectations, and the expectation list can be very long. And we go on and on and on till the adulthood, where we are everything else but not the actual true selves that we were born with. And we believe that that so-called personality, it's all basically the somebody. In the word somebody, there is a sum of all the bodies that we have embodied to fit in the box. The journey is to actually let go of all the sum, the portions of ourselves, the masks that we have carried on and on and on that altered who we are, what we look like truly. So what was the questions that you were asking yourself? Did you ever question that? And what did you do about it? I understand, and I understood throughout all this journey, that the pain is not there to just give you pain. It's there to teach you a lesson. It's all about learning. And everything we go through is an experience to make you grow. So as you go throughout the journey, you're actually walking the walk of your wisdom, the walk of your truth, to become and to remember that you are a conscious being. So do not stop at the level or at the stage of questions. Did you ever ask yourself why the cycles and the patterns keep on repeating again and again and again? No matter how much I try to change realities, I shift houses, I change partners, I change my job, but still the cycle continues. Perhaps not the same people, not the same script, but the same emotions. So we cannot change the environment, nor that we can change people, but we can change ourselves. And so as we change ourselves, things start shifting within. So the answers are within. How do we access that? That's a good question. Did you ever ask yourself this question? I invite you to do so. So we are a soul in a human experience. What does being a soul mean? Where is this soul? How do we access it? It's absolutely a journey within that starts from the mind. To access it, we are to go beyond the conscious state, which is the state that we operate from. Mainstream are operating from it as the main operational system, if I may say. It's the software. And then the body is the hardware. And the conscious state is the most common state for all humanity. But then there is a subconscious state, which is deeper state that we access from 0 to 8 in a very unconditional way. But then there is a filter that starts building up, that starts separating us from the subconscious. And only when we are in a state of sleep, we access the subconscious. What is the subconscious made of? It's all the emotional charge and a result of the programming and the conditioning that we receive from the outside world that is actually stored in a form of energy in our bodies, creating the outcome of our reality. And everything that we record in that subconscious mind is way more powerful. There are different school of souls that tells you 1,000 times more intense or 1,000,000 times more intense. All what you are to understand is way more powerful. So we are to cherish that part. So when the filter starts building up, and when that child is 8+, it doesn't know how to really use it. So when it hits the 2-digit number, which is from 10+, it still feels the emotions that it went through. So now that I know that I have a filter, I'll make sure that I will not let anyone mess about with my mind. So I will develop resistance. It's my protection shield. But no matter how hard you try to actually protect that subconscious, everything sinks in from the moment you are in a state of sleep. And based on how it's being perceived, which is also in the critical filter, and unfortunately, we perceive things in a predominant negative way. So we're constantly downloading emotional state in a predominant negative way, recorded in a form of energy in our body, creating the outcome of a reality. And so imagine that there is so much that we have recorded. It's been observed that we process more than 4,000 programmings or message units per second. How many seconds have you ever lived so far? And how much of that clutter is accumulated in your subconscious than in your body? And all these layers are basically separating us from that true essence that was available since birth onwards. When we are a fetus and we're growing in the womb, we are in a soul state. We do not worry. Fears do not exist. We have that absolute faith that everything is being provided for, that we are just abandoned in everything at that moment. The only two fears that we are born with, that are God's made fear, are the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. All the other fears are basically man-made. So as we are at the mercy of the programming from the parenting, from the moment we are born onwards, we are accumulating based on how we perceive, which is a predominant negative way, all the emotions in a form of energy in the body that is creating a clutter to separating us from that soul state. How do we access it again? It's there, it's available. It speaks to us through the gift, that subtle inner voice that is called intuition, sixth sense, whatever we want to call it. It's there, we all know it. But due to the excessive noise that is going on around us, there is no enough time or moments or capsule of time to allow that voice to be heard, to be followed, because it's the voice of your truth. Where is that? In your heart. But we are constantly overthinking, and especially now with the technology, we're very much stuck in our headspace, in our filter, over-analyzing everything. And the society and the system understood this very well to keep us busy in our thoughts rather than connecting to our hearts. We're afraid of feeling our emotions because we don't know how to operate with it, because no one has told us. We're supposed to actually be taught this from the initial beginning, from that childhood state. We should be told this at school, but it's not. So often it's when we are in a critical state, we start seeking the understanding. So we come with the presented issue to seek help from a holistic alternative way. When we have tried everything else, there's no answer, whether there's a sickness or there's a relationship issue or trauma that is really repeating the cycle again and again, and the pain is just too much to bear. Then we are coming to seek an alternative way to get the help. And that's when this turning point is. Because that's where the answers, you are your book of answers. Don't stop where the pain is. Go beyond it. And the truth and the answers and the solutions are there. Do you need to wait till the problems are too much to bear to seek help and to seek for these answers within you? How much of more agony you're ready to live, to accumulate? How much more pain you're ready to carry till it gets too much? Very often we are seeking that help only when we are at a stage facing the wall where everything was tried out and no solutions were to be found. But I have observed from the practice, from my own journey, and from the practice that I've facilitated, I held space for so many souls. It's actually divine timing. It's when you're ready. And when you're ready, when the seeker is ready, the teacher comes. It's beyond all of us. It's when we're ready to receive and to remember who we truly are, that we are a soul in a human experience to learn lessons, to wake up, to understand that pain is not just a soul pain, but it's wisdom behind it. It's the light behind it. So it's very, very personal. And I'm truly inviting every soul to remember that you are a soul, that you are so much treasure to unfold. And the journey of life becomes way more interesting, way more precious when you're awake and when you're living the authentic self, which is being your soul. So how do we know that we are not in alignment, or we are in alignment with our soul? I would say it's the level of happiness we feel in our hearts. The furthest we are from our soul state, that authentic state, the unhappy we are. The closer we are, the happier we are. Happiness is a very subjective word, emotion. It's not about the emotion, but it's actually alignment. The more we are closer to who we are at the true essence, which in my opinion is something that we are born with. It's like a frequency. It's a state, let's say, we are here as a frequency of love, or a frequency of peace, or a frequency of joy, and many other high vibrational frequencies that we can name. And we are born where it's missing the most, to plant that seed where it's needed the most, into a family dynamic that has no love or no joy or no peace or whatever that we came to emanate onto earth, into a place, a land, a collective, an environment where it's missing. And then as we go along in life, that state of love or joy or so on and so forth is high vibrational, but where we are and the environment where we are being brought up is not very inviting for us to be in that true essence of that frequency of love, for instance. So we start accumulating the fears, the insecurities, the instabilities, the pain, the separations, to take us away from that true essence that we are, till a moment where we become an absolute stranger to our life. And we start pretending, numbing our emotions, trying to fit in everyone else's expectations, from the parenting, from the household, to the schooling, to the society, to the workplace, and so on and so forth. And then we continue just carrying on that absolute lie that we go through till it becomes just unbearable, where the pain becomes so much that we cannot bear it even one more moment. Very often nowadays, it manifests itself through stress, through anxiety, peak of anxiety, panic attacks. And that's when actually the quest starts, because the answers are behind that pain that is triggering you everywhere you go. So for me, the pain is actually a call for help. The pain is a call to invite you to come closer in alignment to who you are, understand and develop your emotional intelligence, to understand what your emotions are trying to tell you behind, which is to bring you back on track, in alignment with your soul that knows it best, because it has a life plan that we call destiny, maktub, life plan, karmic contract, whatever we want to call it. So the pain is basically the tip of the iceberg to help you dig deeper to understand how exponential you are under the waters. And then to understand that, yes, one stage of it is to release the pain, but behind it there is also understanding your full potential to unleash all those blocks in order to understand your true essence, your gifts, your abilities. The more aligned you are with your soul, the more content, the more satisfied, the calmer you are. The furthest you are, the more stress you accumulate, the more unhappiness that leads you to despair and loss. I'd like to talk about the pivotal moment that I had when I was going through the processing of licensing the center, to open the center, and it took 2 years of battling back and forth, no answers, day after day, hardships, so many of them. But I didn't give up, not even understanding why I would go on. Maybe it's madness, going on and on and on with, debts and leaving a very successful career to go on with entrepreneurship without even knowing the clear picture at the end of the road. But what kept me going is my self-work. I never stopped working, and I never stopped working till date. Why? Because the answers are within. So all throughout the journey where I was licensing and setting up the center, I was actually getting ready for it. And all this reality, that so-called hardships, was actually a step-by-step process of the journey for me to be able to hold the space of this sacred space. And if I ever had the license from day one, I wouldn't have been where I am right now. Maybe I wouldn't survive the initial stage of founding a company in Dubai. So all of that was actually a divine synchronicity to prepare me for it, to have that maturity, that wisdom, to be able to hold the space in an aligned manner, in alignment with my soul. So don't ever stop at the questions or at the fears that comes behind it. Seek more. And don't do it on your own. Sometimes it's just too much for us to get all the answers. The walk is together. Together we are more. I have a message for that inner child, my 13-year-old. I'd like to thank her from the bottom of my heart. Because of you, I am where I am, right here, right now. Because you dared asking questions where everything around you was not allowing you to ask questions. You dared pursuing the walk of your truth. And a lot of who I am, what I have achieved so far today is because of you. You are in me. I was not always ready to come and get you out of that pain that you felt. But when I found you, everything changed in my life. And I live today the authentic life that I deserve, and for more to come. So for all of you, go and seek those hidden gems within you. They're not lost. They're just stuck in the story of the past. The best gift you could ever gift yourself is to go back and recollect them, help them heal themselves, and reunite with you to become more, to become that true self that you were once upon a time, that you lost along the journey. To remember, get them back, and become that true self again. Thank you.